You can study in the morning, you can study at night. You can study outside by a campfire light. You can study with the...
Back in September 2011, a gentleman named Raphael Bratman wrote a piece on a website called Jewcology.com, and it was called Water Fluoridation and Vaccinations Are Contrary to Torah Principles. Well, here we are again, having a number of people question whether or not we should get our children vaccinated. I want to set the record straight, and unfortunately, Mr. Bratman is not going to like my answers. He suggests, first of all, that vaccinations are not safe and effective. Let's get our facts clear. In 1900, 53% of the causes of death in the United States were from infectious diseases. In 2010, infectious diseases were only the cause of 3% of deaths in the United States. And the data is even more compelling when you look at specific diseases. So let's talk about measles. In the United States, in 1963, the annual number of reported measles cases was 500,000. The drop-off after the introduction of vaccination was swift and dramatic. In 2009, there were only 71 reported cases. That's a decline from a base of 99.9%. Diphtheria, with a former baseline of 175,000 annual cases, smallpox, with a baseline of 48,000 cases, they were non-existent in 2009, thanks to vaccinations. Back in 2004, when the measles spread to Upper Manhattan and the Bronx, and it had been reported around places like Boston, San Francisco, Los Angeles, the CDC found that more than 80% of the reported cases of measles occurred in persons who were not vaccinated. And about 4 out of every 5 of those people purposefully chose not to be vaccinated. The second argument is that vaccines are treif, that they're made up of things that are not kosher. Well, that's true. It's probably true that there are things in vaccinations that are technically not kosher. For those of us who keep kosher, we can rest assured that we should still take our vaccinations. Why? Well, at least one Israeli Orthodox Torah scholar, and there are many more, Rabbi David Sampson, he summarizes the legal situation this way. He says, there is no prohibition in using medicines which contain forbidden ingredients if they are administered by injection, suppository, enema, medicated bandage, and the like, since they aren't eaten. Even if they were to be eaten, many people, many Jews would want to take them. But for those that are not, if you're concerned about kashrut, you don't have to worry. Finally, Mr. Bratman argues that for some reason, Jewish tradition does not condone, does not make it compulsory that we have vaccinations. That simply isn't true when we look at the sources. From the big sources, big idea sources right in the Torah, things like do not stand idly by the blood of your neighbor. Do not put a stumbling block in front of your friend, in front of your neighbor. We have an obligation to take care not only of ourselves, but of those around us, of our neighbors, of our friends, of our community. And if we do something that impacts them health-wise, our neighbors, our community, that burden is on us. Reb Nachman of Breslov, one of my favorite teachers, wrote the following: one must be very careful about the health of children. And, he says, we have to inoculate every baby against smallpox before the age of 3 months. For if we don't do that, it's as if we are shedding blood. In 1810, Reb Nachman of Breslov died at the age of 38 of tuberculosis, a century and a half before a vaccine for TB was developed. Friends, despite our emotional reactions to this issue, this is one of those times when we have to go with the science, and Judaism and our texts support that science. Get your children vaccinated. Keep them safe. Keep them healthy.
It's okay as you will see that we're bound to disagree. Don't have to see eye to eye to make the Torah come alive. Now that I've had my say, let's not waste the whole day.